Here's something that's going to bother you for the rest of the day. Right now, as you're watching this video, you are not experiencing the present moment. You are living in the past. Not metaphorically, not philosophically, literally, physically, measurably. The moment you think is now already happened about half a second ago, and the strangest part, you have absolutely no idea this is happening. Your brain is hiding it from you, and it's doing such a masterful job of it that even scientists, for a long time, didn't fully understand what was going on. So let's pull back the curtain together. Because once you understand this, you'll never look at reality the same way again. Let's start with something simple. Imagine you're at a fireworks show. A rocket shoots up into the sky and explodes in a brilliant burst of gold and red. You see the flash. A second or two later, boom, the sound hits you. You already knew this, right? Light is fast, sound is slow, no big deal. But here's what nobody tells you at that fireworks show. That gap between what you see and what you hear. That same kind of gap exists inside your own skull, between the moment something happens in the world and the moment you actually experience it consciously. There is a delay, a real, physical, measurable delay. And your brain, this extraordinary 3-pound organ sitting in your head, has found a remarkable way to deal with that delay, a way that is both genius and deeply, profoundly weird. Let's go deeper. When light bounces off something, say your hand, it travels into your eye at an almost incomprehensible speed. We're talking about 300 million meters per second. That's so fast it could circle the entire Earth 7 times in 1 second. So the light hits your retina basically instantly. Okay, so far, so good. But that's just the beginning of the journey. The light hits the back of your eye, and your retina converts it into electrical signals, tiny pulses of energy. Those signals travel through your optic nerve to the back of your brain. Then they get processed in one area, then another, then another. Your brain has to figure out colors, edges, motion depth, meaning, is that a face, a threat, a piece of food? This whole thing takes time. Not a lot of time by human standards, but time nonetheless. And here's the number that should stop you cold. From the moment light first touches your retina to the moment you consciously perceive it, it takes somewhere in the neighborhood of 80 to 100 milliseconds, roughly 1/10 of a second, just for vision alone. Now add everything else. Sound takes a slightly different amount of time to process. Touch takes its own amount of time depending on where on your body it happened. Pain from your toe has to travel much farther through your nervous system than pain from your face. Smell, taste, temperature, they all have their own timelines. Each sense is operating on its own schedule, arriving at your brain's awareness center at slightly different moments. So here you are, a walking, talking, apparently unified human being, but you're actually receiving information about the world from multiple delivery trucks, all showing up at slightly different times. How does your brain handle this? How does it turn this messy, staggered stream of information into what feels like a single, seamless, real-time experience of the world? This is where it gets beautiful and a little unsettling. Your brain cheats. It waits. It holds on to the information. It refuses to show you anything until it can stitch together a complete picture, like a movie editor in a little room inside your head, collecting footage from all the cameras, assembling it into a coherent story, and only then pressing play. Your conscious experience is not a live feed, it's a broadcast. Events happen, signals arrive, processing occurs, and then after a slight delay, the episode airs. That delay, roughly half a second behind the physical universe. Now I know what you're thinking. Half a second? Big deal. You still catch the ball, you still dodge the car. You're clearly functioning in real time. But here's the difference. Consciousness, the experience of being you, is not happening in real time. It is a constructed replay, a slightly delayed reconstruction of reality. The moment you think of as now is actually your brain's story about what just happened. Try this. Hold your finger out in front of you. Shake it back and forth. Notice that faint trail, that blur. You're not seeing your finger exactly where it is. You're seeing where it was. Your visual system is smoothing motion by blending recent moments together. You're seeing history. Now here's where it gets even more mind-bending. If your conscious experience is delayed, how do you react so quickly? A batter swings before the ball reaches the plate. A goalkeeper dives before the ball leaves the striker's foot. A driver hits the brakes in a split second. They're not waiting half a second, because there are two systems inside you. One is fast, automatic, unconscious. It processes information immediately and begins moving your body before you're aware of it. The other is slow, narrative, conscious. It builds the story. It creates the feeling of deciding. And sometimes your body moves before you've consciously decided to move. By the time your awareness catches up, the action has already begun, and then your brain rewrites the timeline. It tells itself, I chose that. I decided that. But the decision process had already started. Your brain acted first. Your consciousness took credit later. You are not the captain. You are the spokesperson. You step out after the meeting and announce what was decided. But the meeting already happened. Now take a breath, because this is not a flaw. It's a feature. Your brain receives millions of bits of information every single second. Your conscious mind can handle only a tiny fraction of that. So your brain builds a model. It predicts, it fills in gaps, it smooths inconsistencies. It presents you with the most useful version of reality it can construct. Not reality itself, but a workable simulation. This is why illusions work. Your brain isn't seeing raw data. It's applying rules, expectations, patterns. And sometimes it gets it wrong. But it gets it wrong confidently. Your entire experience of the world is a controlled hallucination, anchored in physics, but never a direct download of reality. Even physics supports this strange idea. When you look at the sun, you're seeing it as it was 8 minutes ago. When you look at distant stars, you're seeing years, maybe millions of years into the past. The universe itself is delayed. Your brain is just continuing that pattern internally, right now. As you listen to these words, your neurons are firing, signals are traveling, meaning is forming. But by the time you consciously understand this sentence, it is already in the past. You are always understanding the past. And somehow, beautifully, impossibly, it all hangs together. The story feels seamless. Experience feels real. That's not a glitch. That is the system. Your brain is not recording reality. It is writing it every moment. Every fraction of a second, it builds a world. It builds a self. It builds a now, and then it hands that construction to you. Half a second late, and calls it the present. The next time you're sitting somewhere quiet, try to notice it. That slight lag. The way the world seems to arrive at your awareness, you probably won't catch it. The machinery is too smooth, too practiced, too deeply hidden. But now you know it's there. And knowing that changes something, not in a frightening way, in a wonder-inducing way, because it means you are not just observing reality, you are actively constructing it every second. You are, quite literally, making reality up as you go along. And that might be the most remarkable thing about being human. If this made your brain feel pleasantly itchy, stick around, because next, we're going to talk about how your memories aren't recordings either. They're reconstructions. And what that means for your past is even stranger. Stay curious.